Hello and welcome back to We Are Crafted in His Image. Today we are starting March's Cocoa and Crafts class. This is the items that you will get in your kit. The Sweet Ice Cream stamp set. You have 3 ink pads. You have Blackberry Bliss, Bermuda Bay, and Terracotta Tile. All 3 of those. And of course the 4 packages with your projects in them. So we're starting with this project today. You will also find inside your stamp set 2 Ghirardelli squares. I thought that was the best way to transport them and not have them get smashed, as if I stuck them in the box. So what are we going to do with those Ghirardelli squares? We are going to make 2 fun, little treat boxes that when you grab a hold of this and pull, ta-da! Out comes a little note and a little treat. So super easy to do, believe it or not, and really fun. Now you'll notice these 2 are different sizes. This is the original one I did based off of a tutorial I saw online. And I will link to that in the description, but you will find that when I did this, I found that I had to put the Ghirardelli chocolate this way because my little flaps, I guess, were sticking out top and bottom, and I didn't really want that. So I just turned this one sideways. But then I redid it and made it just a little bit wider so that we can put them in this direction and they don't show. So there we go. This is what we're going to make. So let me get started. Put that aside, and we do have, I'm going to try and keep this centered so that you can see what I'm doing. In your package, you have a pink and a blue base. You have 2 different ribbons, pink and greenish blue. And you have an envelope. And the envelope is actually not for this class like we've done before. The envelope was simply to hold your little bits and bobs. Some of them not so little. And so this one goes in project number 2. So put that in your second project. In here we have some white. We're going to stamp on this one. We have some, they look like tags. They have been cut out using the tag topper punch. And you also have some like this that these are going to set on. And this rounded edge on both of these was done using this punch right here. Okay, so you put it in, you punch, and voila. So those are there. And then in here you have some, they look like sherbet to me, more so than ice cream. Little punches and 2 white cones. And then we'll talk about this piece in a minute. Let me set that aside. These were all punched out using the candy or ice cream cone punch that goes with the stamp set. And the way I did these, you'll notice this, I did not color these. This is the designer series paper. And you can see it has pattern on one side, it has these watercolor splotches on the other side. You can do it several ways. You can see right here, I simply brought this in, punched, and then I lifted it up and punched again. On this one, I wanted it sideways, so punched here, punched here. On one of them, I simply, when I first started, I just cut one big long strip off with scissors and then punched all the way up. Oh, actually this direction, actually. And went up and punched. So, yeah. And then you'll find that you may end up with some pieces where you have extra on the side. This you can use smaller punches like flower punches or something to punch out this little pattern, you know, this little colored spots there. So there you go. That's the DSP. That's how we ended up with these. And now we're going to do a little bit of stamp. So none of ours are going to look the same. They're all going to be totally different. But you should each have like 2 of the pinker color ones, pink and yellow, and 2 of the blue and green ones. And let's go ahead and start our stamping. We need You're So Cool. We're going to need both of the pieces for the cone. And then I am also going to use the little splatter to add some splatter. Like this one here looks very plain. Some of them, like on, well, not this one. Let me see. Nope, that one was the same. Let me see. Oh, I guess not. None of the ones I ended up with. Some of them have have some splatters already on them. So if you have one that was like that, you probably wouldn't even need to do this. See how pretty that is? It's already got some sprinkles or some, like, looks like strawberry, bits of strawberry in the sherbet. You wouldn't have to do that, but mine all ended up without. So I'm going to go ahead and add some little bit of texture to those. So let me go ahead and get started here. We're going to open this up. Let's see. I think the splatter and the You're So Cool are both going to be from the Bermuda Bay. So we'll go ahead and get that opened up first. And I'm going to stamp that just up at the top center of that little white piece. Maybe a little lower than that. Probably doesn't have to be quite that high. There we go. That's a little better. So make yours a little bit lower. That one was a little bit high. Okay. And then, since I have the blue out, I'm going to go ahead and add some, I don't know, there is a sprinkle stamp. So if you want it to look like sprinkles, which I think I did on one of these, yep, I used the sprinkle on this one and the splatter on that one. So totally up to you which one you want to use. I'm sticking with the splatter. It almost looks like there's mint pieces or something inside the sherbet just peeking through. Alright, close that up. Now I need terracotta tile to do my fruit bits on my pink. There we go. Give that a little bit of texture. And that one is finished. And now we need to make an ice cream cone. So let's go ahead and do the cone. And to do that, I will need a scrap piece here. And I didn't get the cone out, or did I? And it's stuck. Ah, it's stuck to the bottom of my box. That's what I get for getting them all out at once when I didn't need to yet. Okay, that one, this one. All right. So to do the cone, let's ink up. Now, one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning, there are some items that you will need for these projects that were not included in the kit. One of them being a brown ink. I am using cinnamon cider. This was an ink we had in a kit a couple months back. You could use soft suede. You could use early espresso if you stamped it off a couple of times to make it lighter. Any brown that you have on hand that's going to look like ice cream cone will work. So you could even use, I think, the terracotta tile, but I'm going to use the cinnamon cider, and I'm going to stamp this off on my scrap paper. Stamp it on here so I have a lighter shade of the cinnamon cider for the main part of it. Ooh, that was really crooked. Let's see if I can do better on this one. I might redo that one. You know what I'm going to do? This will be easier. Sticking it on a pink background so I can actually see the outline of the white. Ah, that's much better. Let me redo this one. Use the other side. Let's see. That's better. Okay, and now the waffle texture we're going to stamp without stamping off. This is just direct. So you get that darker cinnamon cider color. And there we go. Our waffle cones are ready. Let's go ahead and close up the ink. We're actually done stamping. That's it. That's all the stamping we need to do. So I'm actually going to go ahead and glue. Let's go ahead and do some adhering. I am going to put my blue ice creams on my pink background and my pink ice creams on my blue background. And you can decide which one do you want to be the one that pops up. I think I'm going to have that one pop up. Yeah, and I think I'll have that one pop up. So these two get glued onto here. And these are going to go on our background. I also did not include, oh, I got some ink on here, some dimensionals. I did not include that in your kit this month. So you're gonna need, well, you don't necessarily have to have dimensionals for this, but I'm gonna use it to make my ice cream itself kind of pop up from the cone. But totally up to you if you want to do that or not. I'm gonna stick these on first. There we go. And then because we want it to kind of look like this cone or this scoop is on top of this scoop, you kind of want your ice cream to be towards the top of your project rather than in the middle, so there's not a big gap of space between this scoop and this scoop. So I'm going to go ahead and set those down. Come here, my little trash cup. Let's see, blue on the pink. Now you want to put these on the rectangle that is nearest the tear and tape, okay? And on the same side as the tear and tape. So I'm not going to put it necessarily right at the top, but close to the top. And just center that on there. Same thing with this one. Let's go. There we go. Kind of centered. Put it on here. And then these I'm gonna use liquid glue. I'm gonna use our multi-glue pen. A little bit of each. And now I can actually tuck that underneath my sherbet. I really think that looks more like sherbet than ice cream. There we go. Tuck this under. Glue that down. Okay, and then we want to adhere these two on here. Now these need to be up near the top, but the key thing is you want to make sure these three little scallops are very well glued down. Otherwise, when you open and close this, mostly when you close it, there is a chance that this piece here could lift up and get caught on that little ledge right there. So you want to make sure that is well glued down, which is why I'm going to use the liquid adhesive as opposed to my tape. Got some glue stuck on there. So, of course, you don't want a ton of glue, but you do want to make sure you get those little scallops. All right. So I can pick this up without getting glue all over my fingers, and then glue that down, making sure that those are well adhered. There we go, and then this one. Okay, then these two pieces now need to be glued to these two, and the pink gets on the blue and the blue goes on the pink. And I'm just going to use regular tear and stamp and seal for this. And you can try to get like an even border around this top part. The bottom really makes no difference. It is not going to show. It's going to be completely glued down inside there. But there you go. Try to get that kind of even around there. Okay, those are ready to go. And now for the mechanism that makes this all work. Let me get this out of my way. Okay. In your envelope, there is a piece of this. This actually came from oh, I don't have it with me. This is a piece of a grocery bag. I simply folded the grocery bag up nice and tight and then cut strips of it off. And so, yeah. Now, I have seen, in fact, the original one that I got this particular one from, the original tutorial, she used a piece of our clear envelopes. However, I don't have any here at the house, and I have done this similar type of thing many, many, many years ago, but it was just a card. It wasn't like dimensional like this. And this is what we used then. So this is what we're using for today. Easy peasy. So you just cut your piece off. All right, cut it, doesn't matter where. And let's wrap this around just so we can get an idea of the size we're gonna need. You want it to overlap a little bit, so about yay long. Let's see, how long is that? About 7 inches. So you'll need 2 of those. And then this you can use for another one. So on here, first thing before I even go any further and I forget again, we're going to go ahead and fold on all the score lines. Give them a good burnish. Make sure everything is nice and folded. I may turn a light on here in a minute. I'm losing my sunlight. It was a beautiful sunny day today. Beautiful. It's starting to warm up outside. All the snow is melting. Before you know it, we're going to be outside in the 75, 80 degree temps eating ice cream. Right? Right? Okay. So that's all scored, or folded, ready to go. Now, this is what we're going to do. Take one of your pieces, lay it on here, and you will note that there is extra tear and tape. I was trying to find a way, we need 3 pieces for this, and trying to find a way to get that to you without giving you a whole roll of tear and tape. So I just stuck a piece onto the piece that's on here. I started out by actually giving you 3 pieces, and then I realized partway through that was just taking way too much time. It was easier just to give you one long piece that you can cut yourself. So some of you have it like this, some like this, some one of each like I have. So what you want to do, take one of those pieces or a part of this piece, and you're going to stick some at the very top of this here. Now, if you notice, I have some sticking out. You do not want anything sticking out. So go ahead and use your scissors. Trim that off so it is flush with the plastic, okay? Because we don't want this to stick to the cardstock in any way, shape, or form. Ooh, my dryer just finished. Did you hear that big buzz? Okay, so that goes there. And then we're going to wrap this around and go ahead and peel off. Oh, did I just do that upside down? Did I put it on there upside down? I did. Okay, you want the sticky up. So I'm going to go ahead and peel that off. Sticky side facing up. Wrap this around the little notch, and I will show you in just a minute what I did to make that notch. Come here. And then just gently pull this over and stick it down. You do not want it too tight, but you also don't want it very, very loose. So I'm just holding that so it's flat, and I'm just going to lay that down. I'm not pulling on this piece at all. I'm just laying it on there. So it's a little bit loose, and then you're going to cut off this excess. Now, before I forget, to make these notches, I used this punch here. I just stuck it in right on the very edge there and punched, so it's just a little bit. But you could actually use, if you don't have this particular punch, you could use, it looks like it's about 1 inch, like a 1-inch circle punch, and just part way put it in and just cut a little bit of the circle out. Really all you need is just this little notch to help hold this in place so it doesn't slide back and forth this way. Although with these on here, I don't think they would slide that way anyway, but yeah, so you just need a little notch on there. So now, oops, sorry, stuck my head in the way. What we're going to do is take another piece of the tear and tape, and you're going to apply it right on top of what we have already done, right on top of that tape there. And again, if you can, go ahead and trim off any excess that's going to stick over the edge, because you don't want it sticking to that cardstock. This piece needs to move freely. Okay, and then your third piece, what you're going to do is flip this over, and you're putting it, what now is the top, but it's actually opposite to where this one's at the bottom, this one's at the top. Okay, and I'm going to stick that on there, and again, trim it. Make sure it fits well. So that's stick backing. There we go. Yay! Okay. Now, having it face this direction, I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to peel off, give it a good burnish. Use your hand and really push that down, and then your plastic will come off a lot easier. Your paper backing. Okay. Then you're going to take this piece, and it needs to go down at the bottom. So I'm just going to attach it right to the top of that sticky, but I want it so that the tag cutout part is down here at the bottom. And I just slightly slid that down, so my adhesive is actually down a little bit lower now. Okay, so I slid it down so that this cutout is in line with that notch. Okay, so now we're going to take this piece, we're going to flip this over, take off your adhesive, burnish it really well, take the paper backing off. Come here. Did I get it? I did get it. And this is going to go on there, but you want it face down. Okay, so put it, the flat end on the adhesive, but make sure it is facing down. And also make sure that it's not showing through your bottom of your paper. Like that. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish this one, and then we'll work on this one. So now to finish it, I have to think, what am I doing? What am I doing? You want to grab your pokey tool here, take this off, and then what I like to do is I want to hold this like that. Okay, do you see the folds? I'm holding it like this. I'm going to use that to hold it. I'm going to bring this over. Oh, come here, come here. Maybe I am. Oh, because I'm doing it wrong. Okay, hold that down. This has to fold over once, then it comes over like this. And you want this adhesive here. So you don't want to attach it to this. So you're basically going to stick it inside there. And you could just do it like that. But I found it was easier for me if I laid it down and then basically push this down onto it. Does that make sense? So that can go both ways. And now watch what happens when you pull. Pull. Ta-da! Okay, and then we'll stick our candy on there in a second. So let's try that again. You have your piece. On this one here, I'm going to have to cut as I go. So I'm just going to stick that on the end, cut that off, put this on here, wrap it around, burnish it down really well, peel off the backing, and then just gently pull this over. Don't pull it tight. Trim off the excess, and then cut a piece to fit on here. Flip over, and I'm going to trim off that little tiny bit there. Cut a piece to fit right here. Okay, flip it back over here. Let's take our backing off. This centered. There we go. That one's good. And peel that off. And remember, the flat part is going to go on the sticky and it's going to go face down. So I'm actually going to line it up with the bottom of this, centered, and then push it down onto that sticky. Okay, then this gets folded over. That gets folded over. Peel the backing off. And then when I bring this over one more time, I want to make sure that this piece goes underneath that. Well, it's much easier to hold with my pokey tool. go. Then what I'm doing right now is just making sure this is tucked out of the way and refolding it this direction to make sure it will go both ways. And now pull. Ta-da! Okay, now to stick our chocolates on, which is oh no, not the last thing. We got to put our ribbons on too. But to stick the chocolates on, I don't want it permanently on here. So what I'm going to do is just use some regular Stampin' Seal. Just like 2 little pieces of it. Oh, come on. Am I almost done? No, I'm not. There we go. And then I think I want the pink one on the pink and the green on the green. So you can kind of slide that in. And then I found that if you line this edge up with the edge of this little cutout, then you can close it up without the chocolate edges showing. There we go, without your chocolate showing. Same thing here. Let's put a little bit of adhesive. Put my little chocolate in there. And I'm holding it up so it doesn't stick down until I make sure I have it in the right spot. And then push it down. Might have got that too far up. And there we go. And now we just need to put our ribbon on so we have something to pull it with. I'm putting the green on here and the pink on here. And this is the easy way. I saw someone was doing this like in and out and around and down. This is the easiest way. Hold your 2 ends together. Okay? Slide it through the hole. Both ends slide through the hole. Okay? Then you now have a loop right here. Slide those 2 ends through that loop and you now have your little ribbon tag. And then I made them a little bit long so that you can see what happens when you're doing that. They kind of get mangled a little bit. You can use a good pair of scissors and trim that up so that it doesn't look so raggedy. There you go. There's one finished. Let's do the same. Now on this ribbon you have kind of a gold side and a pink side. So you can decide which side you want facing out. I think I want the pink out more so than the gold with this particular project. So stick the 2 ends through my hole. Whoops, I'll pull it out so I can actually access the hole. Come on, get in there. I said this is super easy and it's being a pain in the rumpus. There we go. Now put the 2 ends through the loop. Pull it tight. Now this does not hold perfectly. If you'll notice, see, mine is starting to pull off. So what you may want to do is actually stick either a little dot of glue inside here or a glue dot. You can actually pick up a glue dot and stick it underneath here and that will help hold it down. In fact, let me find, oh here they are. I'm going to grab one of my glue dots off of here and I'm just going to reach underneath here with it and then push that down, and that will help hold it so that it doesn't untie later on. I might do that on this one as well. That's my other one. Just kind of stick the glue dot here, lift the ribbon up over it, and then push the ribbon down onto the glue dot. And there. We have a finished project. This one was my favorite. I do love the projects that I planned for this kit, but I think this one is my favorite. I always love interactive stuff. It's just kind of fun. In fact, I think I may do something similar as little Easter treats for my grandkids with a different stamp set. I just have to figure out how I want to do it. But yeah, super fun. Next week we will be back with some more projects. We're going to make a card next week. So until then, God's love and blessings to you. I hope you have a wonderful, warm week, and I will see you later. Bye.